All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
To Be Hero X, episode 11.
Okay.
We got Lucky Cyan's conclusion.
Yes,
Awesome.
she's locked in the top 10 heroes.
Yep.
We seem to be covering a lot of people that end up becoming top 10 heroes.
Indeed. And we also got a confirmation to the public of Fear.
Yeah,
Cool.
and when that happened as well. Given that Fear ends up becoming a larger thing later that people are also utilizing to potentially shoot people up into the spotlight, if you will, as potential villains and stuff. That's then something that we see now, the actual origins of being introduced to everybody.
So, are we going to go further back, introduce another hero? Are we going to go forward?
Are we going to go sideways?
No, this is not that kind of show. We do not go sideways in the timeline. That causes all sorts of problems.
If you only move, backwards or forwards like a couple weeks, that's sideways to me.
Oh, okay.
It's we're telling a different character story that was happening.
Sure. At the same time. Okay, that's
approximately.
That's how my brain has been cooked by time travel shows. That I hear sideways and I don't think the obvious answer.
See, Jacob, we haven't gotten to Hero X. That's his power.
Right.
But then we'll get into the time travel stuff.
Wild shit happens when he does that.
Yeah. It could be all kinds of things. But yeah, we did have some things set up in this arc specifically with regards to Hero X and also just some other characters in general.
Right.
So I would love to see, if we're focusing on a different character, some ways in which it directly connects to some of the things happening around Lucky Cyan's story.
But
maybe
if it's just like the cowboy Bonnie Clyde kind of duo that we got,
or our noir dog.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they did not make an appearance in Lucky Cyan's arc. But
that could be just
being
saved for their own special thing.
That's true.
Yeah, but y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. 26 years. Oh, okay, so we are going. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, let's see more of her story.
Yeah. When they're done first.
Wow.
By a lot.
With the flourish of the pen.
Yep. Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. Here to pick her up? Whoa.
Must do everything in half the time.
Whoa.
Okay.
Making a splash. Yeah. New UA.
Valedictorian of... Yeah.
Road to the Crown.
Oh, shit.
Jeez.
28 years after.
Yeah, so we're going 2 years later, yeah. She did it. Graduated in 2 years, yeah. Whoa.
All right. Oh. Turns it out.
Oh, wait. Since the downfall incident.
Okay.
Right. We heard this speech from the young guy in the previous arc. Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's terrifying.
間違いなく数少ない女性ヒーローのカンフル剤になったね確かに連合8年からもう20年も経つけどあれから女性の X は現れて
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we've seen multiple male heroes then? That's interesting though, the idea that
所属で女性ヒーロー中最高ランクのボワールがゲスト。最近の自身と周囲の変化について話を聞きます。
Nice podcast, bros.
クイーンの宣言が引き金となってボワールの人気も高まりトップ10入りも間近です。
Damn, okay.
Okay.
Sick design. I did not see her in our opening, though, so...
ボワールとクイーンの台頭によりヒーローに憧れる女性が増加しています。
It's quite the outfit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, a tournament. Okay.
What?
Okay.
A whole ass tournament? What?
Last year's X. God, that dude's hair. I hate it. Okay, he's got fire powers of some kind.
Oh, I love the, like, leaving it in the ground to, like, follow it up with movement there. What?
Okay.
Jeez!
Okay. You gotta... Now follow it up.
Oh, jeez, okay. Oh. Oh, this is our,
Dope outfit.
this is our hero queen.
What? What?
One 人は未成年にしてトップ10入り。もう一人は史上2人目の女性の X。この結果もすべて君が奇跡を起こしたおかげ。DOS に奇跡をもたらし多くの女性を勇気づけてくれた。
Well done, yes, yes.
信頼値が上がったことは確かに関係がある。けどここに来るまで私だって努力してきた。
忘れるな。君を選んだのは私だ。
いずれ自分の力で手に入れます。譲る必要はない。X の称号は一つ。上辺だけ仲良くしても意味はない。
Damn.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's just trying to build their company's brand and everything like that.
Right.
He doesn't give a fuck about any of this. But yeah, it would look bad if they were fighting against each other by competing. And it doesn't really seem like they are, but yeah.
あんな思い上がった宣言に会社のリソースをつぎ込ませて言葉で解決できればここで無駄なやり取りに付き合う必要。
Okay.
Wow.
止まれ。
Whoa.
Huh.
すいません、すいません。
ルールが破られるところだった。
こんにちは。
Whoa.
She just said.
So she just gives orders. That's why she,
Yeah.
the thing is about bringing order.
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
目と体が思い通りに動く。
She's being forced to look that way.
どうして視線が
This thing is garnering your attention. Yeah. It's a goddamn Pokemon is what
Yeah.
it is.
It's a mascot.
Legally distinct.
こいつはダーちゃん、息子なんだ。
Your son? What?
そう、俺の息子だ。怖くない。
I also call my little cat my son at times. but-
Yes. But in a world of superheroes, you don't know what to take literally.
Yeah.
柔らかい。
でしょ？こいつ君が好きなんだ。よかったら俺の会に遊びに来る？あ、ヒーロータワーには引っ越してくるの？そりゃいいや。ご近所になるね。遊びにおいでよ。
She's just completely
Okay.
Ah. Gotcha. Okay, so that's his connection with this.
この流れに乗り、毎年ヒーローは 14.7% の勢いで増えているというのが現状だ。メディア戦略の変化により、
Wow.
創発と運営ももはや伝統的な手法は通用しない。そこで今までにない環境を自ら作り出すことで。
Which fits well to bring in the story of what Hero Queen was talking about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is basically just celebrities signing with labels and stuff and companies.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Fun. So we are keeping everything in, trying to keep everything in context here.
Yeah. Is that Lucky Cyan?
Yeah, that's her concert. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're moving things quite along here.
当てられたらラッキーになるかな。
そもそも運とは相対的で明確な基準がない。同感です。運が良くて X になったと言われたくないから。リトルジャニーさん、抱っこしてもいい？
もちろん。どうぞ。
第18回連合会トーナメント戦の決勝が間もなく始まります。
Oh wow. Okay.
We're really just tearing along.
Yeah.
ボワールじゃない。
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay.
What the hell?
All right.
Oh crap. He's here.
Yeah.
ボワールがこの男に負けた。
Cool.
Okay.
Boa didn't even make it to the finals, basically.
Yeah.
Fun, fun.
Just a snap. And what? She's falling? She's already on the ground.
Perfect. Let's sell the mystery of this guy.
Yeah.
Just,
Uh-huh.
何があったの？
トーナメント戦最大のダークホースがほぼ全試合で相手を瞬殺したのです。彼が何者なのか、どんな能力を。
yeah.
Huh.
The X on the tie is also a statement.
Mm-hmm.
でも正直、クイーンの敗北で一番焦ってんのは誰だと思う？この僕だよ。彼女がヒーローを辞めてタレントになったら僕の。
Oh!
Yeah.
Horrible!
Yeah, that would so complete, like, unflappably confident her whole life, and then just...
Right. I've always won.
Yeah.
And then here. Yeah, she's not picking up. Oh, no. It's calling Mickey, yeah. Yeah, what's going on? What?
Wow.
Wait, maybe he is a time traveler. Wait. What? Oh, fear.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this theme.
Okay.
This theme. Oh.
All right, cool.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
We're opening up the main story, bro.
Yeah.
This bro just showed up on the throne like...
Yeah.
Okay, this was
All right.
a very different style of episode thus far.
Yeah.
We got a lot of exposition, and I mean
Yes.
a lot of exposition.
It was a bit manically paced. I was not able to keep up with all of it.
Especially it's rough when all the corporations use, monikers or
Your buzzwords or
buzzwords or all this kind of stuff, and it's basically just there to set up future things that
Right.
we don't know about yet.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to us really yet.
Yeah. Some of it is context for future things, like with regards to Rock and stuff. But
Right.
otherwise, this episode is there to showcase how fast the established order of things was already changing. And Queen thinks, I'm going to change everything, We go and skip through a few years.
Yeah.
You know, to showcase there's a bit of time going through this.
Yep.
And then her speech, which was something that the hero org that we've been following for more recent stuff with like Lucky Cyan.
Right. Basically put that on blast in order to generate more
positive buzz around female heroes.
Right, because we love women.
Yes, we will give women a voice. Yes, because women don't have voices right now.
We have allowed women to be confident.
Yes. I love when the two-facedness and the lack of genuine actual desire, interest, or care is shown so blatantly in those kinds of areas, because it's like, yes. We have a problem here because there hasn't been a female Hero X in a while. Is this because there are no support structures in there for women in that regard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably. So what we're going to do is just going to fake and prop up specifically a woman to get this position to showcase how much we actually have always been supporting women. Right. Time. Yeah.
And the shareholders can attest to that.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where this world isn't deep enough in the way that it goes into a lot of the moment-by-moment conflicts, especially in an episode like this, where a lot of this just seems like setup.
Yeah.
And the part that was so exciting about it was that they didn't show us that much on certain aspects of it. Like the idea that our current, as, you know, kind of teased with the opening and ending and everything, Hero X, just
don't know who it
shows
is.
up. It's this guy.
Yep.
He's not at all the focus in any of the previous arcs.
Right.
But then he's just here, defeats Queen in the ranking tournament, because that's a thing.
Yep. I guess.
Maybe it's also a thing that just doesn't become a thing anymore because
this
he's
happened.
there. You know,
They're like,
and
shit.
They don't know what happened.
Right. And even
We don't know what his powers are. All that we
Yep.
know is that he scared the shit out of all the corporate suits and everything.
In addition to, you know, all the people who have been like, I've dedicated my entire life to grinding basically, and social media, to grinding social media, and then nah.
Yeah. I am fascinated by the idea that, one, we didn't see what he did.
Nope.
But it was so effective
Yeah.
that what we basically have putting him on the level, since we're in a superhero show, so we should talk about this.
Right.
We are already putting him at the level where he has the ability to override the powers of somebody who can impose rules on their limited environment around them.
Right.
Now, just to put this in perspective, what Queen was doing is giga broken.
Right.
Like to put this in
turbo
perspective,
nuts broken.
This is probably the part about Hero X that I like as a show, because they don't exposit it, they just visually show it.
Yeah.
Is that the powers of these heroes is not really the focus of the minutia of the discussion. We don't know exactly what old Esol could do. He had electricity. He had a suit.
He had magnetism with the metal plates,
Right.
you know.
But as to what he was fully capable of doing, we just had to go based off of what we saw.
We knew he had a giga move. That's the crazy energy sword thing that he used, where he calls down lightning as a blade, and you know, and that was that.
Right. But in this episode, we saw multiple people's powers used without knowing what they were doing. We saw the Pokemon thing from Johnny that seemed to literally charm
mind
Queen.
control shit. Yeah.
Like literally draw her attention to where she's like, I can't control my eyes and face. Like, what is going on
I must look
here?
at this thing.
Right.
Before it was like implied that it was like a thing of the creature, I was thinking that this was going to be some kind of like we've drum up to this person's popularity plenty, and we've seeded basically shipping fervor in the masses, so that now once these people meet, you know, they will be compelled to fall in love or something.
I don't think that's that at all.
Yeah,
I think this is
was
something
just
where
the creature. That's just its power, I guess.
Well, it could be, but I think what we have to remind ourselves is that the way people's powers get focused and limited is in a lot of ways by the perceptions of the people giving the trust value.
Yeah.
So if you've got a corporation running heroes, what better way to make money than with merch?
Oh,
baby. We got this cute thing here that nobody can look away from, that everybody has to touch because it's so fluffy and so cute.
Right, and that literally crafts its powers into being something where it can supernaturally cause someone to obsess over it, right?
Right, because the public obsesses over these not Pokemon,
And I imagine, like, because it's a fun way in which they're basically, to put another way of saying what you're communicating, that they're not just doing it for the sake of having shareholdings in these people whose brands are going to bring them money, but they're literally using social media influencing in order to control what powers they will have. And
and they can only do so much with that in that regard.
But that makes the equivalent of the, oh no, we spend a shit ton of money making sure that speech that she did there went everywhere,
went viral. So that potentially dictated, like you're saying, what kind of powers this queen ended up having. Because what she had was the ability to speak out a rule. So basically she has the command spell, basically. And she gave one-word instructions both times that she used it. There was a limited field that came out from her that probably has to do with some kind of tech that she actually has on her. But what we saw also happen was that Boa was so strong or so determined in a lot of ways, because that's kind of her brand right now, is that she never gives up. Like, she keeps grinding, she keeps going. So the idea that you can't actually fully stop her. You slowed her to a crawl, basically, but that was an example of a power clashing against someone else's ability and it not working perfectly. But we also saw that when it came to a fear zombie, because those are just apparently a thing that's common, she was just like, and up you go. And she just, Wingardium Leviosa it, let it continue to go up, and then caught the girl that was scared there, and was like, okay, we're gonna let you go down. And meanwhile, splat behind them.
It's
fun. So there's some range limitation or some focus potential limitation.
Or she decided to let it drop,
But there's probably, I'm just gonna throw this out there, probably if you're any kind of powerful person like this where you can impose rules on your environment, you could impose rules on yourself. And so those could be used to defend against you if you're going into a literal tournament. But boom, we don't even know what this is, or even if he really did that. But immediately the fight was over. We saw also that the top floor of the Hero Tower had vines and life, and almost like it advanced through time in some ways. Like
100 years had happened and nature started to take over the building, but it was only relegated to that floor.
So what he's doing is at that level and ability where we have to obviously assume some kind of limitation, but we won't know where it's in. But it's in the, I can manipulate reality at a fundamental level. With permanence, with consequence, and with will. So, it's a very fun scope to leave things in for him, because while he's an image and an icon right now, he's not a character yet. He's just a vessel, basically.
But what I will say, because the through line that we've kind of gotten over the course of these little arcs with the characters and all that stuff has been more about the society and the corporations and stuff than it has been about any of the individuals, right? And so I like his introduction here, because it's a nice way to basically turn that on its head, because if you're setting up these corporate overlords, right, that have such control over their talent that the blonde dude could basically talk a bunch of shit to the girl who can't be stopped and has, the axe and all of that stuff. But she's the kind of person who would go to attack Queen in the public building, but she won't do anything against him, right? Like, well,
that's because he literally pays her checks and everything. Like, No, this is the part where the society makes very little sense, but also is more just that, no, it makes sense, but you don't understand why they're all okay with it. And it's that right now, heroes compete and fight extremely hard to maintain or grow their brand. Well, on the very smallest side of things here, why would people do that? What are they needing or getting out of this? It doesn't matter. It could be money. It could be fame. It could be recognition. It could be their own egos just growing. the few characters that we've actually seen get the focus in that area are people that were not heroes to begin with, but it was revealed that they were crafted to have these origin stories so that they could then become that and be puppets of these corporations.
Yep.
This is our first time in a lot of ways of seeing heroes that were just, they might as well have been heroes all the time that we've seen them. Hero Queen's kind of in this weird example of where we kind of sped past the origins by showing she's a genius and they boosted the speech.
Right.
So she got what she wanted, basically. But Boa, we don't really know her story yet.
Yeah.
We just know she's been grinding and now she's succumbing to fear, which is going to lead to her maybe making some drastic decisions here.
And with, what they showed of how she fights and everything, I imagine that will be dope as all hell when she turns into fear zombie or whatever with a gigantic axe. That'll be cool. You know?
That'll be cool. But I am curious why you would have a society built around heroes competing with each other. I mean, obviously there's some symbolism here that's very on the nose with regards to, the way in which we all compete in the rat race against each other and don't actually look up and see those that are basically being like, yes, keep fighting amongst yourselves.
Right.
But the people that are in these positions or what have you, they have dreams, they have goals or what have you, and yet they're also willing to be puppets in a way that feels like they know that they're puppets, and it's
but also with the thing of it being a trust value system. Yes, if you turn against your management group or whatever, they do a bunch of social media stuff to try and take you down.
They could just kill your brand right there.
But you've amassed a gigantic following by this point, and the following certainly doesn't care about the management company.
No, but that's the thing. That's why that's the thing where I have such an issue with this, and I want to see them explore this. Is if you have a management company that's running your whole brand, no, they could tank your whole brand overnight. They absolutely could. They have that kind of power. But the idea that then you would be like, I'm going to break it and make a new thing, I guess maybe I don't understand what you think the new thing could be.
Oh no,
there's no management company.
Yeah, they didn't go into it enough, but let's be real, it's something where maybe Queen came up with that speech herself and everything, but that's something where they're like, yeah, cool, we'll sell this. This makes for a good story. Like it's the equivalent of when, I don't know, Amazon puts out some show that's about like how, you have to rise up against your corporate overlords or whatever, right? It's like, oh, that's ironic, but like they're still making money off of it,
But what reason would you have to sign for a management company if you want to upend the established order of things? That's my point. Why if you're actually like wanting to do this and stuff,
and if you have that level of conviction that she clearly had as a young kid, then
be like, thanks for the free marketing.
Right, cool.
I'm not signing with you.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't want to.
Yeah.
Damn, I could never have foreseen this.
She wouldn't even take the head pat of Lucky Cyan or whatever, right? Because that theoretically could give her an advantage that she felt like she didn't earn.
Right, but then you signed with a major hero management company.
You know how this business works, and you're talking about flipping it on its head, but you're also completely going along with it. So it's something where the pace of this show, I feel like is starting to make it suffer here, because I'm not able to follow along with the decisions that the characters are making, on top of the world stuff being thrown in a bit too fast for me to get the details or track with it. Okay, there's some corporate takeovers and things like that. All right, cool, I kind of get a vibe. Okay, that's some fun tie-ins, I guess.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really mean anything to me right now.
No, there's no characters behind it other than names and faces that have been
shown before
walking around doing things in places.
But we don't know them, right? It's just okay, if
in a lot of ways, this show feels like it's meant to be rewatched. It's meant to, you watch it once, and then you go back, and then you rewatch it a second time, and you go, I see. Because we did things backwards, we can now see going forwards here that, this leads to this, this leads to this, this leads to this. but it's a big ask basically from the viewer to say like, hey, watch this again twice to get it, but in the moment you will be lost. I do like this kind of storytelling for mysteries, but I also don't feel like this show is genuinely a mystery. It's kind of a...
It doesn't feel like it set itself up as that.
No, it feels like it keeps evolving the premise more and more to where it's the, okay, I actually don't know the premise of this show still.
Which feels weird after this long.
Right, which feels weird after this long, but it's about people desiring to be heroes, to change things, and the way in which they get swept up into systems that are larger than them, beyond their control. And thus the story is actually a tragedy and not a mystery because all the characters cannot actually beat the system.
Right, while at the same time, a lot of the stories, and especially our first one with Linling, it's about him then learning to believe in himself, and
his is the most delusional of them all, to think that he's actually doing something new and unique here when it's that was the premise basically, is that well-intentioned, well-meaning people that want to do good are ultimately all just pawns of a larger system.
And maybe that's where Moon's death at the hands of the new Isol,
I love how you keep bringing this up,
is actually meant to be more of a conclusion rather than a mystery that's left open, because it's they didn't need her anymore and so she's gone, and I
think again this is some kind of example of where the show is not focused on mysteries. It's that is something that will end up being explained maybe at some point. But for now, what we are still selling you on is the premise of the story. Because at some point, you end up running out of years before the downfall incident and the commission starts.
Yep.
So those things are what we're headed towards.
So you want to hear the wild thought that I had?
The crackpot theory.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, the snapping in the fingers and all that stuff, that's wild stuff, right?
Yeah.
But when we get it in the OP or ED or whatever, they all then suddenly are like falling through the floor.
That's the ED, yeah.
ED, yeah, falling through the floor. So what if, he's clearly got some reality manipulating powers, and the fact that the show is being told out of order is actually because at some point he snapped and flipped the entire show on its head.
Yeah. Anything like that is just kind of fun. It's meta. It's fourth wall breaking. That's cool. I want the actual plot of the story to start being about these characters, because right now it's kind of almost disheartening to try and follow the characters when we know ultimately that their stories end in the tragedy of them being just pawns of the system.
Right.
Like Lucky Cyan's had an example of where we thought, we're breaking the mold here. We're doing something different. We're telling the true underdog story. No, even the orphanage was fully puppeted and controlled by these people.
and the conclusion and the her breaking out and all of that. And nope. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I want to get more invested in these characters, but the story doesn't seem to care about me being invested in these characters.
It feels like it's trying to tell us this isn't actually about the characters, which is a pretty wild thing for a story to say.
Right. It is a story about all of them, but it's in some ways, it's the things that they share between them. But the more characters you do, the less things they share between all of them.
Right.
Which I think is why I have to go at it. It's just the simple tragedy of where these characters end up going eventually, which is they cannot break out of the system. And thus, any character that comes in with a lot of power is exciting because they might be able to do something to change the system, which makes then this guy, Hero X,
his introduction, awesome.
The more exciting because he has that kind of power. And he also has that kind of X factor, pun intended, I was waiting to use that joke, that no one knows about him. No one knows who he is. It's also a thing where we sometimes have to make sure that our subtitles are right and stuff, but there's things that are just going to be wrong. Because this is a Chinese show and the translation side of things are less competent than anime can be translating Japanese into English. But this is the best we've got thus far, is that he does seem to be kind of a character that they had no info on, but also that they were saying that the footage that they got from him doesn't even give them anything.
They're he doesn't actually exist as a person, And also, we don't have info about him as a hero.
Right. And those words in combination don't make sense. They, in some ways, put more questions. Like, what do you mean? You're saying that when you looked at the footage, he wasn't there? Or are you saying that we don't have ID on him? But that's way more specific.
This feels like the thing of because this is a superhero society and so there's lots of sci-fi things or whatever. It's we got his face on camera and facial recognition across the whole city, or country or whatever turned up zilch. It's
all our super illegal, there's no such thing as privacy in this world anymore.
Right, it feels like the equivalent of
came up blank,
it's the Joker thing of Dark Knight. He gets captured and it's the no ID, no fingerprints, all this stuff.
Right, and it's something where I feel weird about this because the story is giving us so much exposition about how little the characters know. So, again...
And we're used to getting reversals that will come out of nowhere.
Yeah, his image during the tournament just doesn't exist in the city's information systems. So...
Right.
So what you're saying is the guy doesn't even exist? It's like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
Why do you leap to they don't even exist? Because the city's information systems are so perfect that you couldn't exist in this world without having a whole data profile on you? Then I have to go into things of time travel here because...
Well, right. And when people say they don't exist, that can mean many things. There was a point when, as far as the banks were considered, I didn't exist because I didn't have a credit score. And when I told them that, they're like, no, clearly that can't be true. And then they're like, oh shit, wait, you're actually right. Okay.
Right. It's when characters say things in hyperbole and then go, so you're saying it doesn't exist? That's not what I meant. What did you mean? What did you mean then?
Yeah.
It's this part where the writing in this show seems to, every once in a while, forget that it's trying to tell a story, and it's like, we're just trying to make things exciting. And it's like, I'd like to also be able to follow along with what you're intending to tell here.
Right.
So, the mystery of Hero X
cool. Awesome.
is fun.
Yep.
I'm excited for whatever's going on here at the top of Hero Tower.
Right.
And then Boa's conflict with Queen spilling over into this whole side of things.
Fun.
But, yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.